Now I don't have a coffee. Now I have my coffee. Did you know that the structure of the human body is very interesting in the name of science? But how about in the name of technology? Well, there is this basic device called a computer. It also has a lot of parts which works together in order to function. This might be the weirdest conversation you will ever had, but I assure you it will be worth it. Or worth of your time, and I don't know. Just gonna get some coffee. See, science and technology has only one motive, is to evolve. But in order to evolve, we must learn the basics. Don't know the basics? Shame. No, just kidding. The basics I'm talking about is knowing the parts. Don't worry, I'll explain it to you in the most basic, interesting, engaging, and the easiest way to understand. I assure you that, so let's start. If you think this video is taken in 2 different days, you're correct. I accidentally deleted the first video. Okay. The first part is the CPU or the processor. The CPU stands for the Central Processing Unit. This chip works so majestic like your brain. It controls, it transmits data, receives information, and most importantly, it processes data. The CPU sends signals or data through its other part by using binary codes. Do you know how your brain sends signals to your organ or muscles? No? Shame then. No, seriously, it's the neuron. Similarly to the CPU uses binary code as its neuron. Have you seen these symbols so often? Familiar? Well, this is how exactly the binary code works. It turns on and off. Binary code is a very deep subject, so we're not gonna go in deeper. Well, at least you know that the CPU uses binary code to communicate with its other part. So, how's the first part? Is it hard for you to understand? I hope not, because we're moving on to the next part. So in order to communicate and work with the other part, you must have a path or a communication line. I am talking about the motherboard or the MOBO. This rectangular shape has a lot of components on it, as you see on the surface. Everything you see on the board has a different role. Have you noticed those ports? It is actually where you would plug your CPU, RAM, GPU, and more will be mentioned later. And yes, those little tiny things you see are associated with those parts. Have you noticed those ports? Which are on the side of the board I am talking about. It is called the input-output ports. This is where you would plug your peripherals like mouse, keyboard, headset, mic, internet, and your monitor. These ports also have other uses, not only what is mentioned above. I forgot what is in the script. Where's the script? So I found the script. That's a lot of information. I hope you can still process it. Write the script. It's dumb. The next up is the storage. Now we have a processor that processes data and a motherboard that will be our path. Now we must have a storage. You cannot just place your goodies outside, you must place it into a storage, and that storage is called the HDD. HDD stands for hard disk drive. It is where all your data and information are placed. This device can write and erase data as the user desires. But where is the disk? It's inside the box. A few screws needed and you will see a phonograph looking architecture. Be careful not to touch it though, it might corrupt your files. As I've said lately, or yesterday perhaps. Technology evolves, so do the storages. HDD has a successor named SSD. SSD stands for Solid State Drive. It is relatively faster and secure compared to its predecessor. Due to HDD being too old, it is prone to be corrupted compared to SSD. But the cons is, the SSD is more expensive compared to HDDs. Have you stored your data on this topic? No? Buy an SSD then. Pun intended. One of my classmates lost my 70 pesos pen. Shame. No. Talking about the storages, what we have talked lately is the permanent storage, meaning that we also have a temporary storage. So please give a round of applause for the RAM. No, I'm talking about the other RAM. Yes, the random access memory or the RAM. RAM is used for your background application like your software and apps. RAM is only a short-term data which restart every time you shut down your computer. Unlike HDD and SSD, you must delete your files manually. No, I don't mean you can use your RAM as your secondary storage. It is only used for background application. Okay. I might have RAM because, where's the script again? Oh, I might have RAM because I have a short-term memory. Right. It really emphasized the point. No, seriously. Quite hot, isn't it? Well, we also have a parts for that. It is called the exhaust fan or the CPU fan and the system fan, which works together and circulate the air inside of your system unit. The CPU fan or the exhaust fan main purpose is to regulate the temperature of your CPU. It prevents the overheating of your CPU. So what about the system fan? The system fan main purpose is to circulate the air inside of your system unit. So basically, it is an overall fan. Of course, we want it to be more cooler as the evolution says. Nowadays, we use a radiator cooling which has a fan on top of it and has more cooling efficiency than the normal fan. We also have this fancy looking water cooled system. It is more expensive but reliable. Okay, something is probably missing. We have the SSD, the HDD, the RAM, the CPU, the motherboard, and the fans. Now, what is missing is the chassis or the case. See, the chassis or the case acts as your skeleton for your parts. It protects your parts from debris and damage from physical objects. Not only it protects the parts but also protects you. Yes, you. How, you might ask? Well, your computer needs electricity in order to work, right? Yes. The danger is that you might get electrocuted. Not only is it painful, but it might also damage your parts. Yes, I almost forgot. You cannot just plug your computer directly into your outlet because your computer doesn't use AC voltage and it uses DC or direct current. Why can't it just use AC voltage, you might ask? Because AC voltage are often changing. The best thing that AC voltage can do for your parts is to explode.
What the?
Also keep that in mind that you must also use the correct wattage for your computer. You cannot just buy high-end parts and use a 500 watts PSU. It might often result in a frequent shutdown and might damage your parts. I know there's a joke for that. Wait, let me consult the script. That part is really shocking. Very funny. I promise this is the end and I don't forget a parts. Actually, I do. We missed one part and it is called the SATA cable. SATA cable stands for the Serial Advancement Technology Attachment. It is used as a connector for the motherboard and the storage. Do you even think that HDD and SSD uses Bluetooth to transfer your file? No. It uses cable because it is faster and hassle-free. Finally, you have reached the end and learned all the parts and function of a computer you are expected to carry it in your life. No kidding. No. I'm Ali from TVL-ICT and thank you guys for watching and see you guys next time.